Hi, my name is Kwon Ho. I'm a student of Computer Science 2984. This is my final project, and today I've been working on is home field advantage drill in soccer. But first, I gotta get a little bit into myself. I'm an international student from Vietnam, so there might be some language barrier, so please pardon my English. Let's move on with this project. So, the question that I will be trying to answer today would be what are the trend of scoring home goals and away goals within the last three seasons of English Premier League, which is 2012, 13, 13 to 14, 14 to 15. And therefore, with that question, we could answer: is there such a thing that call home field advantage that a lot of people think that might be substitution or something like that? So the data that I will be using for today, which I get from Corey, this data set include different leagues, but I chose to go for the Premier League. There was three seasons that I could get my hand on to. There was 2015 and 16 as well, but it's still going on right now. So all the scores are not final, and we're like halfway through the season. So I just use the last three seasons, and I will talk more about how I go about extracting these data on the next few slides. Some limitation that I have to get. Once again, I have to use the last three seasons only. I would love to use like the last 10 seasons, because that gives you a better and bigger picture of how the trend has been going. So this data sets, it gives you quite a lot of information, including like dates, rounds, match, the score, but it doesn't specify who score. So I could have gone so many different ways, but in the end of the day, I chose to go for home and away goals because of this limitation. So the final coding for my project wasn't that that bad, but it's a lot of things I need to. It's a little bit confusing, but I think I get there in the end. Okay, so this is how I go about abstraction and extracting data. This is my final coding. So what I did was, for each season, I need to specify with season underscore 1213. That's been season 2012 2013. I had to specify it within that A record. And then I have to go for the first list, which is the rounds. There was actually 38 match day or rounds, and then within that I have to use another 4 for another list, which are the games. Each match day has 10 games, and within that games I need to extract getting the away and home score for each of that game and append it into the list for each season. And in the end, I'm just totaling them up for each season. And for the plot, I actually have to do the plot.statistics and put everything the data that I got on the x-axis and y-axis myself. But it wasn't that bad, but I think I got through the abstraction and extracting data just fine. Okay, we're going to talk more about stakeholders and social implication. The stakeholders that actually involved with this home field advantage thing we have is home team, away team. Home team and away team fans, because they'll be cheering for their team to win. And we got some fantasy football players. That's just trying to bet on the right team, the right players. And we got some soccer gambler who bet their money on the team. They would love to know that the team would win or not. And some social implication here. So people usually do believe in home field advantage, but most of them consider it as a superstition rather than a fact. I'm trying to prove that it is factual. And this is the organization of the given data set that I have. So we get soccer.get games for the English Premier League. I got the 4 seasons over here. The 15 and 16 season is not completed, but I put it in there just so it would be it's just the how the data set is formatted. Within that we have the rounds, and within that then that's the list, and then we got the 38 match dates, which is the rounds. They are also list. Within that we got a name and matches. Name of floats, matches on the list, and within the list we got 10 games for each match day. That's result in 380 games for each season, and within that each of that game we got the an away, date, and home. Away is a list, date is a float, home is a list, and within that list right there we got code, key, name, and score. Code is a float, key is a float, name is a float, but score is an integer. Okay, it's now to debunk the mystery that we have. So I have here the 2 visualization that I have made from my coding. From this data, we can clearly tell that for each single one of the season, home goals have always been higher than away goal, and this trend is keep going on, because for each of every single season it has been higher, and no matter how high the away goals get, the home goal is always higher. This is mostly because players tends to score more goals on their home field, and teams are more likely to win on their home field. So this is what I have derived from my data, and so in conclusion, home field advantage is real and actually quite a big part of any sport, including soccer here. It can easily depict an outcome of a game. A home field advantage, meaning that the home team player could sleep the last night in their own bed. They didn't have to travel to get to the game even, and they have the whole crowd cheering for them. And if that is not enough, the away team have all this thing against them. So, in conclusion, home field advantage is very real. And that has been my project. Thank you for listening.